Good night, everybody. Welcome to Chute. Don't know this is a podcast, so we just have random reasonings, and you guys can chime in the comments at any time. You don't know, podcast boys and girl, and we're there every week. We just want to say big up to everybody that is watching the video so far and supporting. We really appreciate it. Everybody will take time to leave comments and stuff like that. Really appreciate it, and just try to watch all of the video. Just try to be a part of it and can comment and say something. So again, I am Dunks. We have Ella, we have Nuts, we have Ras, we have Suna, and you guys have anybody you want to big up this week?
No, not for this week. One big up my videographer who I use right now, you see me? I'm always there. That's why you always see me clear. Nah, really give my name yet. I'm not ready for like his name, but me make know.
Alright, cool.
Big up the subscribers then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But y'all,
the subscribers.
Would reach after.
Yeah. So tonight's episode will be focused around the school curriculum. Basically how we got to this question, or what we would change about the school curriculum. That's the question. And how we got there is basically, since this has always been a question, but since the whole, Black Lives Matter, stuff like that, I've been seeing a lot of information, where a lot of the stuff that we learn in school, like a lot of the history is taken out. And it got me wondering, what else have they not taught us, and what else should be in the school curriculum? So that is how we basically got to that question. So that's the question. What do you guys have as something that you would include or something that you would take out? So what would you change about the school curriculum as it is right now?
We'll leave that. Go on, Ella. Go on.
Okay. Well, I personally don't think it's comprehensive enough for real life skills. So we have a good coverage of the science and stuff like that, but I think when it comes to real life application information, we don't get enough of that. Like, we should be taught how to do taxes, taught about the laws and stuff like that. That will help the people that will leave school and become policemen, to at least they will know the laws that they're teaching at school,
Yeah.
And like just other real life applications. Like, I think there are certain things that everybody needs to know. Like, we could probably do some kind of class on budgeting, some kind of class on more practical things like that, because I personally had issues with figuring out how to do taxes by myself, what to do, where to go, how to sort out things like that. So I think that incorporating more things like that would be better. And I think they used to have a course named Civics, I think it is.
Yeah.
Do they still have that? Do they still teach? No? But they need to reincorporate stuff like that. And then, I think in terms of the sciences, as I said, we have that covered. But in terms of art and history, we really need to vamp up our curriculums and that. Like, first of all, we need to change our approach to these type of subjects, because we always see like literature and arts and stuff like that as less than, right? So I don't think they get the same amount of investment from the schools. Like, your school will have one really, really, really good maths teacher, but the music teacher not have it. So
but it have a thing to do with the culture, because we don't really fancy the whole creative arts thing.
Right. Everybody,
as I said, the music teacher now get no props, just like how your parents are going to tell you, say, yo, I'm going to read your book and, stop a little singing and dancing, kill with creativity a lot of times.
And then we need to incorporate more things like things that are coming up now, because, the world is changing. So stuff like graphic design, videography, video editing, things like that we need to introduce to our kids from like a younger age. Computer IT that we were introduced to was like using Word and Paint. I think they need to up it
and
So,
floppy
you know,
disk and
yeah.
the whole history of computers and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that,
no,
which
that's unnecessary.
we don't really need to know that. You need to know how
No.
to operate the computer and the stuff like that. But you touch
Would
on
I
a
like
point.
to get a project when we create all a YouTube channel?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Or
something like that.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Bad.
Something like that. And even managing a social media account as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, writing captions, what you should and should not post, stuff like that, managing your password, stuff like that. But you touch on a point with the music. A lot of schools don't, like, even primary schools, a lot of schools don't have a
Music program.
music program really. So, and even art, it's for even primary schools, because even my primary school, now try this my primary school or anything, because I'm probably one of the best primary schools in the country. I don't know, Blackstone Primary, big up yourself. But at the same time, there was not a comprehensive music or art curriculum. You understand? So when I went to high school, I was way behind as it relates to those things. And then, like, even languages and stuff like that, basically did have to start from scratch in high school as it relates to language.
I'm gonna think English I teach
prep
wrong.
schools have a different experience with language. I think prep school people do at least basic Spanish or whatever. Because when I went to first, it was the same experience. Like the people from prep school, them know everything already, and I'm like starting from scratch.
Right. Yeah, Russ, so that's about English.
That's something I think them teach English wrong. Because English teach from a reading and writing level, but they don't teach you the communicating aspect of it, like where you just talk and have a proper conversation in English.
And comprehension.
Yeah, and the comprehension skills. So a lot of persons, they can read it and write it, but they go in a little interview, they're supposed to speak it, and it just... So I think it would look good from you there school. You have a little thing and you do a little presentation and so on. You only learn that if you reach like university level and up, them start to incorporate that, especially at the master's level. You do presentations like every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so you get used to it. But before that, you know, them not really teach you that.
And I feel the primary school level to interest. Because nothing wrong with teaching primary school level kids like their audience and type of language and those. So you can use ways to integrate it. And do that, because for me, I was a shy child when I was growing up. One thing, public speaking, that never happened until I reached high school and start trying other club societies and then So I think they need to integrate it from there. Some other points on the whole curriculum thing that I want to bring across is, I think education, especially in the Jamaica and the Caribbean, is like they put you in a box. So if you want to become a doctor, it's only one route to become a doctor. If you want to become a mechanic, it's one route to become a mechanic, which is not true. You can actually do some things outside of the normal know-how to reach that level. And for instance, I believe like vocational skills have really been pushed aside for far too long. Even though as I get older, I'm looking back and I'm saying, why I never do like art and making high school, or why I never take up woodwork or TD, or you understand? I believe that at least one of those skills, whether if you're a male or a female, would be very beneficial right now.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Yeah. So,
For real,
so I think we need to think out the box when we pick our career paths and do stuff.
I think what happened also is that education has become so much theory. Who can remember what and so people who are skilled versus traditional educational methods are in two different categories, and then they are looked down on because of being skilled, but not understanding. Because the thing is that being knowledgeable versus being, what do I call it now? Because when I put knowledgeable as being a person who has
smart,
you know what I mean? Then you have wisdom, which are persons with great understanding. And these persons don't need to have any, they don't even need the information beforehand to know what to do in certain scenarios because they can come and they look at it and be like, but this have to go so you understand me? Not because you can read or whatever means that you are.
It's like a coach and an analogy you can use is like a coach and a star athlete. So I could be a football coach, you know, because I'm smart and I understand the game fully. But I can't do what the athlete they do. Like him just have it. Like in the game, something just click to him. Him just skill. Very skillful.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't do that. No matter how me know the game, I just can't do that. And I want them thing there. So some people have to be the manager and some people have to be the athlete.
Exactly. So what happened though is that them split them too far apart, and then because you have, I think, and then I think the education system is set in a way currently to be profitable to persons who are in one sector, and then for the other persons they become minorities. You know what I mean? Because even I mean, businesses wouldn't be really businesses right now if everybody knew the trade tricks. You get me? As I so you know what I'm not telling them thing there and whatever. So certain things are being held, but in regards to the whole skills and because as soon as I was saying about being like an auto mechanic or whatever, I mean a lot of us were almost every child was passionate about cars. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like you even and it doesn't even stop with just school. It goes as far back as our parents because schools say, oh, you know, this is for persons. They pretty much say happy dunce people. You know what I mean?
Dunce people, true.
And then your
technical school is for
your parent right at that point in time is like, make sure you do the sciences and this
and nobody turn the mechanic or whatever.
You get me? I try to nobody turn artist. So I mean, So it come from way back, which definitely me think the changes need to start making now with persons like even us, like, you know, more educated and not just educated, but we have real basic understanding a lot of things. I mean,
right. And then as you say, for even like something like mechanic, plumbing, stuff like that, like there's such a big need for it in a day-to-day setting. I don't see why. The
foundation of our society is like we could not
basically. And then I think too that a lot of this is coming from a time where, all right, let's say that thought process where you have to done to become mechanic or whatever. I think that it started from. This is just my thinking. When I say I want to factor or anything, I think that it started from when I did just 1 and 2 carried around. You never really have much to fix anyway. You understand? But we have become. In terms of progression, everybody have one car. Everybody need to know at least the basics. And when you have one car, you see how important one mechanic is.
Yeah, how much money we pay.
Yeah, exactly. Like your mechanic become your best friend. Like you don't look down on a mechanic as a less than person.
Never.
You actually appreciate the fact that them know this stuff. You want them to talk to you.
My mechanic always teach me, more when I see the man I'll plug in something and I say, wait, everything run by computer now. And I say, everything run by computer now. I say, wait, so this is a mechanic where people look down upon the man basically and everything about the computer and the car.
Exactly, because you end up in a lot of spaces. Like even when me go fix my car, like the man literally have to just teach me this stuff. Then like, and sometimes he might try to talk to me and he just say, nah, click or me nah understand what he must say, and him try to break it down. So me not understand why the system set in that way. And another thing that I could point out to, like in farming, like we should be encouraging farming. Like I want very good profession for the, you know.
A life. We have to understand that society, it has to do with prestige. It's basically dirty work. So you have to dress up in a tie and a suit, look better, and your parents want that for you, and you want to drive around in whatever nice car, you know, walk in a sun hot whole day at the, you know, it's just basically how the work itself is looked upon, why it became that kind of position. But me, I'm from St. Elizabeth, and if you go to St. Elizabeth and you look on the house, then when you look on the lifestyle, you look on what they expect, farming is the way to go.
But let me tell you something funny. So look on, you ever see a man in a farming before does left and go corporate? You never see that yet, but I always see a man left corporate and gone straight to the farming.
And And next thing to like, enough of the rich people, them, like a lot of people that are rich, when I check it out, them have some farming a go on on the side as well.
Yeah.
So,
Farming or some
these
animals.
are things that
As the investment, you know, one of the better investment them you can make.
exactly. So if we stop, the classroom should stop, you know, discouraging children from taking these paths, and we kind of really set up a lot of like people where you say have different skills for feel one way to do it. So like, let's say I have a son that is good with his hands. By the time him go to school and by the time he reach grade 6 or even grade 4, he probably hate the fact that he's good with his hands. He don't want to have nothing to do with that. He want to go learn and be all sorts of whatever. Not saying that I would not want him to understand certain things, but there are different ways to be successful. You understand? So we have to try to encourage that.
I think it's like a right braining of the education system, and it leaves behind persons. You know, that person in your class that growing up was just always misbehaving or rude or whatever, and that's just because the education system is not tailored for him. The education system is tailored for people who read, regurgitate, and remember stuff really well. You know, understand?
Yeah.
But you have that one child that is very creative, very whatever, you know, more left brain, and they just don't cater to him in the classroom, so he gets left behind. And I think that's one thing that they can adjust. They can make the setting more well-rounded, and they can identify early out these students who are not trying to be difficult. They just can't function in the setting, like they don't learn like that, they don't receive information like that, and they're really and truly not interested in this type of thing. Right? So we need to, even from a younger age, start to cater to them more.
Yeah.
Sorry, Suna, go on.
Yeah, man, a point to note, you know, you have to give props to some educators, teachers, and so forth, because some of them really try to think out of the box and try to implement these things. But you have some institutions where they always get a fight. It's like, try so just either other teachers against them or the administrative now support them and those stuff. So you have a lot of good teachers who really want to implement, like, getting the students out of the normal going to school every day and show them the real thing, the real world. And
I think also because yes, we don't want to really bash the teachers them, and I understand that these classes are sometimes too big, and then too like the amount of different like students, you know what I mean, learning gaps or technicalities, like there you would have to have more special learning and you know, categories in these classes which finances may not allow, and then sometimes these teachers may not be enough skilled teachers for each category may not be available. So that now also what that might do is well, not might do, is actually making the issue bad right now. I think also though it goes back to even the parent, because like if you have a son or a daughter, and I mean you're the first person to teach them something, you know, another teacher, you know, you're the first person to teach them, and based on you teaching them, even just say mama or papa or whatever, you kind of get an understanding of how they learn, you know what I mean? Like you can't really know if a child bright early to, you know, you get me? Because some people is just brilliant, while some take a long time to learn, and then if you will see him draw something, but him not respond to words, like I say, you know, say like that brother, or you know what I mean? It's more of a writer or a more of a creative person than a more of a smart guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. So the responsibility is on everybody. I don't know if the finances them did it still, but
as you say, and as Suna was saying too, it's not about the teachers really, it's about the system
the whole
itself.
System itself.
Yeah, so it's not even the teachers that are making the situation, but it's just how the system itself is set up. Another thing that I wanted parenting and all of that, and how we think about certain things are a part of the system as well. And the next thing we really want to touch on to is, as you guys were pointing out, that, you know, we have to create, or try to create, I think they should try to create a space where, you know, the classroom is smaller, so the teacher can pick up on certain things.
Yeah,
You understand? Because you have a lot of people that have learning disabilities that don't know really and truly. Like you have people that are dyslexic and you just the teacher just pass them off as can't read, can't spell. When they actually have one problem, them have difficulty focusing on certain subjects and focusing in general. The teacher just pass them off as not interested. So all of these things are things that we definitely need to improve, because a lot of students or a lot of children that pass through this system have this capacity to learn, but because of the disability and being misdiagnosed or mislabeled, then end up drop out of school. Because
there is something I think can help, and I'm not sure if everybody really take it up. I think it was in place to try and get people more active with things outside of the regular learning. That are clubs and societies. So they introduce the clubs, people that go to the clubs, them, and you get to engage something different outside of your general learning. But my thing is, should it be a case where we make it like compulsory, where a child have to do like 1 or 2 clubs, so you get them a bit more involved in other things outside of your general learning? Because to me, that's what the clubs were trying to do. That's the whole thing about clubs. But people like me, they just play one sport and say, club thing, I know my thing. But you can go hand in hand, either club or a sport.
What I would say about
people
that,
go through the clubs. Sorry. Go on, Sasha.
Sanjay.
Yeah?
Ella.
Oh, I am saying that a lot of people go through the clubs and them actually learn like one whole different, like people, like cadet people who do cadet.
Yeah.
Yo, them learn one whole different discipline, and them have one whole different respect for just being on time and being punctual and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
stand up in a sun.
Clean.
Yeah, like yo, when it like even when you go UE or when you're in university or go somewhere else, like you just watch how somebody behave and you can just ask, yo, you didn't kill it, no, or something like that, and more than likely, based on how them go on. You see me? So I think the clubs and extracurricular activities is something that we can definitely push and ensure that children are a part of, not just play sport. Yo, go do something else. Go in a 4-H, Red Cross, cadet, whatever else is there that they can go.
I think early on in the conversation, Suna said something about public speaking and not being exposed to that until high school level. And I think that what can be done is for more primary school to participate in things like JCDC. Because for me, I used to participate. I used to enter JCDC every year. And what that has done for me is not just help my public speaking, but it also helped me to have a better understanding of like even our dialect. You know how some people look on patois as whatever. Me love patois because the great Louise Bennett, nobody me love like she, and that's how she talks. So like, just that exposure.
It should build a confidence too.
Yeah. And it gives you like that different outlook on things, because everybody around you, me couldn't talk patois my house, me couldn't talk to my teacher, them, you understand? So it gives you that kind of cultural experience, and you go and you used to dance John Kuno. I used to dance Maypole, and when we dance Maypole and stuff, them I tell me like what it's about, and when you dance John Kuno, you get to know what it's about and stuff like that. So just your cultural experience, true. Being exposed to that from that stage. And then another thing again, the what I would call the picking up subjects thing, where you got either science or arts. I don't think we should do that at all, because what happens is if you go straight science, right, you become like a medical doctor or something like that. You lack all of the social awareness that you would need to be able to better relate to your patients, to better understand their circumstances, stuff like that. So when you think about people, and
even just expressing yourself as well,
right? Yeah. When you think about people in the sciences, they really don't have a good grasp on social context or things like that. These are
especially finance. Them poor on the finance.
Right, and these are the people who are going to be leading those sectors and people who are going to be leading the population. So they need more understanding of things like that. And they don't have a good grasp of history. They don't know why what became to be, stuff like that. So I think that broadening what we allow them to do. And I think high schools need to stop doing that thing where you have to pick between bio and history because history and bio in the same pool. I don't think it's right. And then again, with that, if you're going to do, I was having a conversation the other day actually, and it's something that has benefited me because I did both science and arts up to K. I did history, stuff like that, along with my sciences. And I didn't even realize the benefit of it, but what was basically being said is that if you're an actuarial scientist, the person that's going to hire you is not another actuarial scientist. It's somebody who needs an actuarial scientist, but don't even understand what it is. So being able to present yourself, being able to speak properly, being able to get a point across like clearly and concisely, stuff like that, it has really benefited me. And if you notice, sometimes you'll go to a job interview and you have all the qualifications and somebody less qualified than you, when you get hired, they're your manager. And it's just because they're able to sell themselves, because they have a good command of the English language, they have a good command of stuff like that. So you're a really good actuarial scientist, but you can't talk to help yourself.
Yeah. I'm telling you the truth. That's
the interview. So
that's
somebody
one of the give me an edge, you know.
Right.
That's basically my edge. Because I did sciences, the straight sciences. Well, I did sciences and a liquor business in a high school. Yeah. Liquor business mean one subject. So when I go to university, I do straight actuarial sciences. Right. And a lot of the business them we get for evaluate and to try to find out if them good or not, they are mostly in scientific type of things. You know, most of them do manufacturing, you have some the energy, them sort of stuff. And the only reason I understand that because I have the science background.
Yeah, you were rounded.
So a lot of people do the business, but them not have the science background, so them not understand. Nothing what go on there. So
and not
can't
only
relate
that,
to the client.
Not only that, I think I remember doing a subject. Well, everybody know entrepreneurship, and they were making reference to Ford Henry and Einstein. Like everybody know Einstein was a wicked scientist. Yeah. But Einstein no make not even 1% of the money a Ford make, because that man was not only a creative thinker, was an inventor. It was, you know, him come up with manufacturing system to make multiple cars, not only making one car, you know what I mean, but making multiple cars. And it have to do with him have a business mindset, even though he was probably a scientist or whatever. But he have a business mindset. How to, you know what I mean, come up with a quicker way to make things and all these stuff. So definitely we believe in a being diverse in the subjects and stuff. And also one more thing, because I think the day before yesterday, me and one of my friends, Chavez, was speaking, and he was saying, you can't remember any person in your school where dunce, where they have all like food to eat. Like normally people who bad behaving and low in the education at school not have no food to eat. Meaning say them not have sufficient lunch money and them something. Right. Because food, if you not eat good, your brain not go
can't learn.
You get what I say? And that is a thing where I'm not really sure if the system really realized that yet still. A lot of these kids that come to school and behave poorly and rob and do all of the bad things. Them come from some very poor homes. Them can't really afford a lot of things, which include food. Like a proper breakfast in the morning, you know what I mean? So them come out there grumpy and everything. Them don't come to learn. Them come to school, them pay all money.
It's not even come to learn, you know. It's just like the capacity. The capacity to learn is so limited because of the hungry and the tired and all of that.
And, stress that comes with it.
Yeah, exactly. Because as you said that point, like I remember, like especially university when I study, not make me hungry like when I study. Like you need food just around the clock. Like not even when you exercise. Like besides say you have one whole heap of exam, like you have to be studying constantly. And just watch the amount of food that you eat. So that is something that's a very good point as it relates to like nutrition and ensuring that the children are properly fed and stuff like that.
I think that we always say that we shouldn't rely too heavily on school, but it's truly where the children spend most of their time. So it needs to be a space that is all encompassing, like it needs to facilitate every aspect of child development.
Yes.
It is even in a minor way. And then we have to always keep going back to the system that's in place, because a lot of schools just don't have the staff, don't have the facilities, don't have the support. So even if they want to do certain things,
a good lunch program.
But then you do have schools that have the facilities and so on, and they're still not pushing a certain type of well-roundedness and things like that. Because even guidance counseling and things like that, I think you should carry through to high school. I don't know why they stopped that at primary school. You know, have a class in high school where we talk about, you know, we're becoming young people. We still have issues, stuff like that. Just you can't.
And them go talk like we in love, like me in love. I love that girl here. What me fi do? You know, that's stressing out.
Yeah.
We need to know. We need counseling.
You have to wait for the student to come. You have to bring the information to them, because not everybody is comfortable reaching out like that. So if you provide that space and just give them the information from the get-go, it's better. You know, I think we have a guidance counselor in high school, but we don't have the classes.
No, we don't.
So
right. Yeah, you have to go to them, or if you give trouble, them send you a guidance counselor basically.
Yeah, but I think they keep that class going.
Not only a class, but I think the guidance counselors, and it might be hard, but they should have, have a system where each kid is evaluated. You know what I mean? At least once in your whole school time, you must get evaluated by your guidance counselor.
People they are schooling now.
And that's me I try to tell them they need to know what go on.
Mental health, a serious thing, and from young year development.
Serious thing, bro. Serious thing. That's a good point.
You don't have a clue, so you develop it.
Yeah, not to change the whole conversation, but so as we talk, I was thinking, and I was saying that I think another aspect that we really need to look upon is the literature. I think some of these books that we're using, like for instance, I have some books that I use in high school. I don't know if I read at least 20 pages out of one of them. Even some of those books I have up till now that are brand new. Like some chemistry book and some
that's true.
Use it.
Yeah. So I think they need to really look at it and say, all right, because I think them just generalizing the thing and say, all right, this is what every institution must use or so forth, which is not true. Yeah, and I think we can get more specific with more Caribbean material, or even not more Caribbean material. For instance, our education system is Eurocentric, meaning that it's going to be from this hemisphere and thing, but the world is bigger than just America and South America. Yeah. So then we need to get materials from outside and so forth, expand that.
And then have an idea for your course, soon I talk about that. And Ella did mention it earlier, where in a primary school and so on, they have the JC, DC, and then something there. I would love if in high school, especially now, seeing that we're in this new age and we are kind of lose society in terms of culture and history. I would love like a cultural studies class like between grade 7 and 9 where people learn a bit more about the whole Jamaican culture. Because with social media and so on, trust me, the kids, nobody now go past stage for dance.
And right across. I mean, cultural studies would definitely work also in the case where, you remember the episode we had way back about things that our parents did not tell
without
us.
teach us.
Just work with that.
With a time to that.
Learn them things.
Goes back to the civics what Ella is talking about, because if you talk any older person or elders, they will tell you about civics.
Yeah, man.
Say that one course so they really
reasoning
like
skills.
Right.
If you talk to like the average high schooler now, there's a lot that they don't know, and they're not going to look this information, but they really don't know a lot of things. And I don't know if it's because as I said, I did a lot of history and lit and all of that, why I know. So I'm thinking that is something that should be known, but they really don't know a lot of things. I think that like history, even if you're not going to do it as a CXC subject, it should follow through until you get a good understanding.
I think that it should start. I think it should start earlier, because we didn't start history until third form, and that was we didn't choose history basically.
You get 1 year to have to choose.
You only get 1 year of it. You should have started from at least grade 7.
Yeah,
start from grade 7.
I think also history should be, because history more about the like slavery and all them something there.
Yeah.
And I think the history of Jamaica and a lot of other things that are special to Jamaica. And,
we teach it, man.
Yeah, them to teach that in our history too. You know what I mean?
Man.
Not just because normally when I was doing history, I was more like, me can't wait left a class because right now, this will make me vex.
This will make you upset.
You not learn most of the good things what you want to learn about history. You learn the bad things.
Slave and how bad it was.
None of the points where, like me think history. I mean, I don't know if that go good at the class or whereas the suggest,
yeah, the cultural
and
studies,
then history go just be all that other things, all those other things.
Can we not even learn how PNP and JLP come about?
We
don't learn how when Rastafarianism come about and the oppression where they might get. Enough people don't know them stuff there. So I say, why that not teach?
Yeah, and
that can delete a lot of the prejudices and stuff that we have.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly what's going on. You don't feel that way about people and a lot of people don't even understand the prejudice that they have. They have the prejudice. They don't know where
they not even
from.
know.
They don't have.
And when you don't know, you say certain things, and you're not aware. So what you say really upsetting.
True.
Okay. True. All right. So this is a topic where we definitely can't end in one sitting. So we definitely will have to revisit this topic. Definitely, people, leave your suggestions in the comments and let us know what you think can be changed about the curriculum, the schooling curriculum, and what you think, how we can improve it. And thank you guys for watching. Also, the link to the description for the other episodes. The link for the other episodes are in the description, so you can check it out. All right? And thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe.